can be sure that Bayern takes one of them. And I think now we can also be almost sure that Bayer Leverkusen takes one of them. So there are two left. And when we talk about the top teams this season, I think seriously we have to talk about Stuttgart. And because now we're in a so far in the season that we can say, no, it's not just an aberration, something strange going on, maybe a bit similar to what happened with Union Berlin last year. Maybe it's a team that runs out of luck sooner or later. No, Stuttgart are actually really, really good.
Yeah, they are really good. We've been saying that for weeks, and it's not just the strikers who, of course, are catching most of the attention with Dennis Undav scoring again, with Serhou Guirassy scoring again, two wonderful players, but the whole team just plays decent football every single week. Defensively solid, going forward with real fluidity. They have balance, they have cohesion, they have everything a team needs without that many star players, if you take out the aforementioned forwards. And they missed and they lost arguably their most important player in the captain, Vaturo Endo, but haven't become much worse for it. Yeah, another big win for Stuttgart. They beat Werder Bremen 2-0. The scorers already mentioned to underline their Champions League ambitions. But it could be more because, Christoph, you said that Dortmund's main target is to qualify for the Champions League. I think their main target is to win a trophy. Of course, they have to qualify for the Champions League as well, but they have a chance of winning, especially the German FA Cup or the DFB Pokal. But the problem is they have to go to Stuttgart on Wednesday night, the very place where they were beaten very convincingly just 10 days ago. So that's going to be a real big test for Terzic, not so much for Stuttgart, but for Dortmund and for Terzic. Difficult night in prospect.
Yes, of course. And I was thinking about this combination of Guirassy and Undav because I was wondering when did it come out of fashion to have two proper strikers? I mean, it's so old-fashioned. Are there top teams that have a combination like this? You have deep-lying nines playing around the targets, men up front, this kind of stuff. We have a lot, but this looks like in the very old 4-4-2 when you had two guys up front to bang the balls in. I mean, it's much more complex how Stuttgart plays, but in fact, it's an oddity these days. Or would you disagree?
No, I think I think you're right. Most teams try to dominate midfield and are reluctant to play two center forwards. If there is a second center forward, it has to be more like a number 10 or maybe Thomas Müller is the exception, because you could say that Bayern have been playing with two center forwards the whole time if you consider Müller, but of course his game is kind of different. But yeah, it's about not giving up too much control in the center, but it can be done, as we see from Stuttgart.
And what I'm not. I think it's also this happened by chance, because my perception of the situation at Stuttgart is that Stuttgart signed Undav on loan from Brighton, because they were almost sure that they would lose Guirassy, who had a release clause for 15 million in summer that for reasons a lot of sports directors around Europe will probably scratch their heads now. Nobody took, and so he stayed at Stuttgart, and so Stuttgart ended up with two top strikers. and instead of one, what they expected. Yeah, and but it's good. It's good for the Bundesliga. It's as we said, they are fun to watch, and they are a very likely candidate to play the Champions League next season.
Yeah, and Serhou Guirassy will be a likely candidate to possibly leave, if not in January, then in the summer. I think the release clause is still active in January, so it's going to be pretty difficult to hold on to him, but we can only hope for the sake of Stuttgart and for our sake, as lovers of the German top flight, that he will continue for a little bit longer.